Hello everyone, I wanted to record a short video for you this week because I think there are some concepts that needed to be elaborated upon, introduced in the module, in the lessons. It's very clear and everything. You have to take your time with this week's module, but we need to think really hard about things like a thesis statement, what it is, what it does, and the different aspects of analysis that go into it. So this might be a little bit difficult to sum up in just one short video. This might be a couple of videos. But let's take a look at the thesis statement. The thesis statement tells us what the purpose is of your paper, what you're trying to do in this paper. Everything that you write in the paper after the thesis statement is only going to serve to prove your thesis, right? So in this case, you're going to be writing an analysis paper of your chosen article. And of course, you chose one of the 3 articles in the first module. That's super important. We give you the text that you need to read and analyze. And then you take that text all the way to the very end in week 7 and turn in a full analysis paper that looks at that article. Make sense? Okay. I always say contact me at j.parker7 at snhu.edu if you need clarification on anything, because that's what I'm here for. But let's take a look at the thesis statement that was provided for us in the example. Now, the examples are called exemplars in this. I really wish they would just call them examples, but it's an exemplar because it's a great exemplary example of the kind of assignment that a student can turn in, right? So it's a model assignment. But anyway, in the examples, the exemplar, sorry, they use an article by an author named Ruse Manier. And that article isn't available to you. That's not one of the 3 you could choose. So, but that's the one they use as an example. And they provide a thesis statement. Now, the article by Ruse Manier is also about time management and all that stuff that we've kind of been looking at this whole semester with those 3 articles. But this one, in the analysis paper, in the example, they write the following thesis statement. Ruse Manier argues for a balance between productivity and downtime, emphasizing the value of productivity in ways to be a productive worker. But although she emphasizes the importance of work-life balance, she does not offer as many ways to truly take a break and improve the personal side of life to create that balance. Period. Okay, that's the full thesis statement, and it's a long one. Thesis statements have the tendency to be kind of long. They actually try to explain the essence of this paper and its purpose. And so it really does take actually a pretty long sentence to do that. But all thesis sentences should be 1 sentence. So always try to find a way to make that two sentences. If you have 2 sentences for your thesis, try to combine it and make it into 1. Okay, so the important thing about this is the person, let's say the student, in the example, was analyzing this person's article, doing what we're doing, and so the first part of the sentence is kind of summary, and then the second part, the part that begins with but, lets the reader know that there's more than just summary in this. We're also critiquing the article. We're analyzing it and looking at its value. What does the article do? What is its stated purpose? And does it do what it states well? Or does it do it not particularly well? That's part of analysis. We just take it apart and look at the things, the little individual working pieces of a text that we're reading, and we decide, this part looks good. This part they actually fulfilled their promise and delivered what they said they would in the article's thesis statement. And then, but this part they didn't do quite so well. So with analysis, you evaluate and then you deliver a judgment, right? With analysis, it's not so much about summary and agreeing with what you summarized, although a lot of that stuff in those articles seems like it's pretty true, like I really should take a break. It's more than just summarizing it and restating the author's main points. You're actually kind of taking it apart and seeing, does, like, Pelusi, what's her name, in her short little article about taking a break, does she really give you that much helpful advice? Is it helpful to you as a college student? Would it be helpful to the elderly? Would it be helpful to, I don't know, working class people working an office job or working outside? You know, what kinds of breaks are you supposed to take with these different types of professions? You know what I mean? If you look at it that way, you realize maybe that article isn't that good. And as much that it doesn't really tell you much. It gives generic advice, and it doesn't really elaborate upon its main point, which is that you should find time to take a break for your, you know, your mental health. So in the example thesis, I'm going to read part of it back to you, and we're going to dissect it. In the example, they talk about what the article attempts to do, and then they talk about whether or not they succeeded. So all in one sentence. So here, let's read that again. Roos-Meneer argues for a balance between productivity and downtime, comma, emphasizing the value of productivity and ways to be a productive worker. Okay, that first part of the thesis statement gives us the summary of the article, right? And it's a pretty good summary, but short. Then they write in that same sentence, but although she emphasizes the importance of work-life balance, she does not offer as many ways to truly take a break and improve the personal side of life to create that balance. Okay, that's the point of contention. That's the part, the critique of the analysis, this person's critique of the article that they read by Roos-Meneer. They're saying that it may do some things well, but there's certain things that it does not do well. And this gives them a chance to look at the article from all sides and decide, and we'll go transcend merely summarizing and agreeing with it and finding things that you might want to push back on, or finding elements of that article that you found to be less than helpful. Speaking of being helpful, let me know if this video was helpful to you. I can always elaborate upon these ideas, and I always talk to people through email anyway at j.parker7@snhu.edu. I'm going to keep this one really short. That's the thing about thesis statements, but you should probably also look at other sources and naturally read the textbook and the sources supplied in the module. But if you have additional questions or need me to elaborate on an assignment, please let me know. Okay, thank you.